They posted a couples challenge TikTok in my kitchen, wearing my apron. Can you imagine what it feels like to open up your phone, scroll casually like you do when you're winding down, and suddenly see two people smiling at each other, lip-syncing some cheesy romantic audio, and halfway through you recognize the room they're in? Not just any room. My kitchen, the kitchen I built with my own hands. Painted myself after a long day at work, picked out the tiles for after months of debating colors with her, and then, as if the sting wasn't sharp enough, he turns to her, dips her in a little playful dance, and she laughs while wearing the apron my mother gave me last Christmas. My apron, the one I've always kept hanging by the fridge. I swear in that split second I didn't know whether to laugh, throw my phone across the room, or just sit there in silence until my head stopped spinning. My chest was tight, not just because of what I was seeing, but because of the absurdity of it. Out of all the ways to find out of all the subtle clues people usually talk about, receipts, suspicious messages, late nights, this was how I got my slap in the face. A TikTok couples challenge probably meant to go viral, probably hashtagged with relationship goals, filmed under the warm light of my kitchen. And before you ask, no, I didn't recognize him right away. He wasn't some coworker I'd been suspicious of, or some neighbor I'd caught staring too long. He was a stranger to me. Just a guy maybe 2 years younger than me, clean-shaven, wearing my hoodie like it was his own. I noticed it halfway through the clip. At first my eyes were glued to her smile, the kind of smile she hadn't given me in months. But then it hit me. That hoodie, that was mine. The one she always said was too baggy on her. The one she borrowed so many times, it practically became part of her wardrobe. He was wearing it now, like some twisted joke. I don't know if you've ever had a moment where reality folds in on itself, where your mind keeps repeating the same thought. This can't be happening. That was me watching them giggle, spin, pose for the camera, while the comments section filled with strangers typing so cute. Couple goals, OMG, marry him already. All of them cheering on what to me was nothing short of a betrayal playing out in high definition. The weird part, I didn't yell, I didn't smash anything. I just sat there scrolling back, replaying the video again and again, as if maybe the angle would change, or maybe it was a prank, or maybe it wasn't even my kitchen at all. But the longer I looked, the more details hit me like tiny arrows. The chipped corner of the countertop I'd been meaning to fix. The spice rack I built on a Sunday afternoon. The little magnet from our trip to Melbourne, right there on the fridge. And her laugh. God, her laugh. I don't know how long I sat like that. Time felt stretched thin, but eventually reality sank in. This wasn't some misunderstanding. This wasn't a look-alike kitchen, or a similar apron. This was my life, hijacked, turned into content for other people's entertainment. The next morning I didn't even confront her right away. I went through their entire account, video after video, each one more nauseating than the last. Some were filmed in places I didn't recognize, maybe his apartment, maybe public spots, but there were at least 4 others taken in my home. My living room, with my cat, my bedroom, our bedroom, with her cuddled under the blanket I bought. All of it paraded online, dressed up as something pure and fun, while I sat in the shadows, untagged, unseen, erased. Now here's the thing people don't tell you about betrayal. It's not always the cheating itself that destroys you. It's the audacity, the boldness, the way someone can walk into your life, take what you built, and use it like a set for their little fantasy world, without even thinking you'd notice. That's what burned me alive from the inside out. When she finally came home that evening, I didn't greet her with accusations or anger. I just asked, calmly, "Did you post something today?" She froze. That half-second of hesitation told me everything. Her eyes darted, and then she gave this pathetic smile, like she was about to gaslight me, spin some excuse. "Oh, just a silly little video with friends," she said. Friends. That word tasted like poison. I didn't even show her the video right then. I just nodded, pretending to believe her, letting her think she was safe. Because in that moment, something in me shifted. I wasn't going to scream. I wasn't going to beg for answers. I wasn't going to play the role of the heartbroken fool. No, I was going to wait, watch, collect, because if she wanted to make a show out of my life, then I was going to take control of the script. What she didn't know was that I already started documenting everything. Every screenshot, Every frame of those TikToks, every timestamp, every angle that proved they were in my house. I started saving them, organizing them, even backing them up in case she deleted anything. And while she thought she was clever, sneaking around, playing house with him, I was 2 steps ahead. You see, betrayal cuts deep, but it also sharpens you. It forces you into a clarity you didn't know you had. And as I sat there, night after night, piecing together her little online fairy tale, I began to see patterns. The way she spoke to him, the clothes she wore, the places they went. I wasn't just watching anymore. I was studying, learning, preparing. Because one day, when the moment was right, when she least expected it, I was going to make sure the truth didn't just come out. It exploded. I told you when she came home that night, and brushed it off like it was nothing. That was the moment I decided not to explode, but to calculate. She thought she could outmaneuver me, thought I'd either stay ignorant, or too spineless to confront her. But the truth, I was building something bigger than confrontation. Days went by, and I played my role well. I asked about her day, cooked dinner when I could, cracked jokes, even kissed her forehead like always. I didn't pull away, didn't let her sense the storm underneath. Meanwhile, she kept feeding that TikTok account, couples dances, silly pranks, lip syncs. I became a ghost haunting my own home, watching her parade through it with him, oblivious to the fact that I was archiving everything. But here's what made it unbearable. You don't think much about strangers on the internet, until they're rooting for the very thing that's ripping your life apart. People were begging them to start a YouTube channel, calling them the cutest couple on TikTok, writing paragraphs about how their love inspired them. And I sat there, scrolling, trying not to scream. Do you know how twisted it feels when people cheer for your humiliation? So I began planning. If she wanted to turn my life into content, fine. But I'd make sure her finale was something no algorithm could bury. First I had to know who he was. That hoodie of mine, the way he casually leaned against my counter, it infuriated me. But it also gave me clues. A distinct tattoo on his wrist. A set of keys with a company lanyard that dangled from his pocket. When he lifted, frame by frame, I zoomed in until I could read the words, a local gym. I didn't even have to dig that deep. One reverse search later, I had his name, his socials, even his work schedule. And the irony, he wasn't even someone impressed, just a personal trainer who fancied himself an influencer, with maybe 1,000 followers to his name. He saw her, saw the way she smiled, and thought he'd found his ticket to something bigger. Little did he know he was stepping into my arena. Now, I didn't want revenge to be sloppy. No screaming in the street, no anonymous DMs to expose them. That's cheap. I wanted precision. I wanted the kind of reckoning that left no room for escape. And I wanted it to unfold in front of the very people who idolized their love. So I kept gathering. Weeks of TikToks became my evidence folder. I even noted the brand of wine they drank on my couch, the playlist she put on in the background, the days she claimed she was working late while really starring in another one of their challenges. Piece by piece, I built a case so airtight it could have gone to court. But my goal wasn't court. My goal was audience. And then, the opportunity fell into my lap. One evening she told me she'd be at a girls' night, leaving early, dressing up a little too much for casual drinks. I kissed her goodbye, smiled and waited 15 minutes before opening the TikTok account again. And there it was, a live stream notification. They were going live. I watched as they set up in my kitchen, again. Same apron, same counters, same space I'd built. She danced into the frame. He followed, and the chat flooded with hearts and emojis. Thousands of viewers. My humiliation, now broadcast in real time. That's when I made my move. You see, I'd set up my own account a week earlier, under a fake name, slowly building small credibility by commenting, liking, playing along. By the time they went live that night, I was ready. I typed into the chat, calmly, simply nice apron. Does your husband know you're wearing it? The comments exploded. People laughed, some confused, some asking if it was true. She froze mid-laugh, eyes darting, lips parting like she forgot how to breathe. He chuckled nervously, muttered something about trolls, tried to brush it off. But I wasn't done. I dropped screenshot after screenshot into the chat. Yes, TikTok allows photo comments in lives now. Every frame I had saved, every angle that showed them in my home, Every timestamp, I wrote, "This isn't their place. It's mine. That's my apron. That's my couch. That's my life." The chat turned vicious. Half the audience accused me of lying. The other half demanded answers. "Wait, is she married? This is fake, right? IMG drama." And she panicked. For the first time I saw her mask crack. Not just the playful influencer persona, but the whole facade. She stammered, tried to laugh it off, said I was some jealous ex. But people were already scrolling through my screenshots, matching the details, comparing. The truth was leaking faster than she could plug the holes. I didn't stop there. I saved the live, re-uploaded it to other platforms, with the caption, "Couple goals," more like home wrecking on camera. It spread like wildfire. Reddit threads, Twitter callouts, Instagram gossip pages. By morning, their precious brand had collapsed. She came home at 2 a.m. red-eyed, mascara smeared, phone buzzing non-stop. She didn't even look at me when she walked in, just went straight to the bathroom and locked the door. I sat on the couch, waiting, calm. For once, she had no script, no lies, smooth enough to cover the crater I'd opened. When she finally emerged, she whispered, "How could you do this?" And that was the final insult. How could I do this? After she turned my life into content. After she paraded her affair in the home I paid for. After she wore my clothes and my apron like trophies. I didn't yell. I just looked at her and said, "You posted the challenge. I just posted the truth." And that was it. She left 2 days later, dragging her suitcase down the hall, not even daring to meet my eyes. As for him, his gym dropped him. After clients started cancelling in disgust, their joint account deleted, their fan base scattered, and me, I stayed in my kitchen, apron still hanging by the fridge. The silence, heavy but clean. For the first time in months, I felt like I wasn't the ghost anymore. See, betrayal cuts you open, but truth delivered with precision sews you back together. Not perfectly, not without scars, but enough to remind you the house is yours, the life is yours, and no TikTok challenge can take that away.